I don't know what Snyder meat writer needs to hear this today, but this has gone long enough. Because it's still an issue. This is still being brought up upon. This is still going on. And you know what? I'm going to fucking say it. A lot of us DC fans, a lot of us real DC fans have been sitting here just letting you just talk until hopefully we thought you would get it out of your fucking system. But you guys are still fucking pushing for this, and you know what? Frankly enough, I'm fucking tired of it. I'm gonna tell you guys why Snyder, like Zack Snyder, isn't the fucking god you guys are treating him to be. You guys sit here and treat him like that his fucking word is bond and that he makes all these good fucking shit. No, he does not. He did not understand these DC characters. He never did. He didn't respect them. He didn't understand the character. He didn't bother with a lot of the fucking source material. He did what he wanted to do. Which means that he took the bare minimum, took a handful of storylines, and then based all of his characters off of a little bit of the storylines that he picked. And then he had some radical mentality for a lot of these characters that was just all around just stupid. And the movies show it. The movies flat out fucking show it. He did, and I'm getting really fucking tired of you Snyder, like you fucking Snyder stands sitting here going like, oh my god, Zack Snyder is Jesus Christ, oh my god, Zack Snyder, please make another movie, I want to jerk off to your Superman. Shut the fuck up. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, I like the Snyder Cut too, but I'm not gonna fucking ride on fucking Zack Snyder's dick like I'm some sort of fucking fangirl. Like, Jesus Christ. You guys act like that everything he did was fucking art. But in reality, there was a reason why they didn't want him to be part of fucking Justice League originally. You guys seem to forget Batman v Superman actually fucking bombed. No one liked it when it first came out. The only thing that fucking Batman v Superman had going for them was the fact that it was visually pleasing. And that's what Zack Snyder is. Zack Snyder does the same thing that fucking Michael Bay does. They make terrible ass fucking films. But a lot of it is aesthetically pleasing, visually pleasing. All it fucking does is give you that little tingle in your mind going, ooh, this image looks nice. That's all it fucking does. That's all it really ever has. And Zack Snyder flat out didn't understand any DC characters, and the proof's in the fucking pudding. I'm gonna start off with Batman because Batman's my favorite is one of my favorite DC characters, and you know what? He's done the worst on this character. First things first, he started off his DC Cinematic Universe, or his attempt in a DC Cinematic Universe, with the Dark Knight Returns aspect of Batman. The worst thing is, he made Batman into a fucking killer. because Dick Grayson was killed, which is another problem I'm going to add on to this. But let me start off with this. You know why it was such a stupid idea to start off your version of Batman as The Dark Knight Returns? It's the same thing with starting your universe off with fucking the death of Superman in this fucking second film. There is some things that has to be earned. You guys seem to forget, originally the Dark Knight Returns comic book was treated as a possible future for Batman before it became its own thing. And not to mention, the Dark Knight Returns version of Batman, Frank Miller's Batman, only had a handful of good storylines, and not even that was the true version of Batman. If you read the comic books, all the comic books that are part of the Dark Knight Returns universe is Batman Year One, All-Star Batman and Robin, Dark Knight Returns, and the Dark Knight Strikes Back. In that universe, when Batman first found Robin, when he first found Dick Grayson, he abducted him, smashed a windshield into two cops' faces, made fucking Dick eat rats in the cave, tortured him, mentally abused him, called him fucking retarded, and then proceeded to light a bunch of criminals on fire during a team-up with Black Canary, and then had sex on a pile of burning corpses, covered in bleach.
Sound of the apocalypse.
What part of that sounds like Batman? Because to me, that doesn't sound like Batman. That sounds like a mentally ill psychopath. And that's what The Dark Knight Returns was. But now, here's the funny part. The Dark Knight Returns version of Batman, originally, this was during a time when Frank Miller didn't go crazy, so he actually, you know, sat there and did things his way, but he didn't do it in a way that it was, like, way out of field for Batman. The perfect example is, in Dark Knight Returns, you've noticed that Batman's a lot more brutal than he typically usually is. But he wasn't killing people still. Because that Batman was grizzled, but he was not broken. In all sense of the word, the moment when Batman starts killing people is the moment when Batman is over. That's when the mission's over, because at that point, Batman has went as low as 90% of the criminals in Gotham. There's a reason why Batman's no-killing rule is important. It's an important part to his character, because Batman can kill his villains. Batman could kill his villains. But guess what? Then he's just as bad as them. The reason why Batman doesn't kill his villains is because he's afraid that he will like the taste of it. Because he believes, as soon as when he starts killing his villains, he's not ever going to stop. And at that point, he's no longer the protector of Gotham, or the beacon of Gotham. He's now just another fucking 2-bit thug. There was a scene in an animated movie where Batman flat out told Robin that it's not all about being easy. It's about doing the right thing because it's right, and that's the only reason you need. killing people isn't the right thing to do. It doesn't matter if it's the easy way or not. That doesn't make Batman realistic.
Catching me going anywhere near Ace Chemicals now, my friend.
It really does not. And the fact that you guys are sitting here going, well, it makes Batman more of a brooding character. No! Fuck no! Batman's not the fucking Punisher. Why do you... It's ridiculous to me that this is like the situation that these fucking Snyder meat writers, like the hill that they're willing to fucking die on is baffling to me, because it feels like that you guys don't ever actually read the comics. You guys don't understand these characters. The biggest point is, the other part about it is killing off Robin, specifically Dick Grayson. Zack Snyder's mentality of killing off Dick Grayson specifically was because it was going to feel more painful it being his first son than his second son. It's going to be... You're trying... And the reason behind that is because he was trying to justify Batman being this psychopathic killer. No, there is no justification for it. That's not Batman. That's not Batman, simple as that. Even if Dick died in the line of fucking duty, Batman wouldn't be sitting here murdering people, even though it's his first son.
First thing tomorrow, I'm calling my lawyer.
The extreme that he would have probably went to is him quitting.
We can do that.
Because if he wasn't able to protect his family, then he wasn't able to protect Gotham. He wouldn't be sitting here killing people. And the moment Batman ever killed somebody, that would be the moment he would realize how low he went, and he would probably quit.
I bet I can take these militia guys.
No matter what, Batman is nothing without his code of honor. That's what differentiates him from a lot of the vigilantes in DC Universe. Keep this in mind. Green Arrow does not have a no-killing rule. Green Arrow will kill if it's absolutely necessary. Batman will not. Huntress is extremely brutal, and she is more than happy to kill her opponents. Ted Kord is more bubbly, he's more happy, but he's not morally sound, because keep this in mind, the reason why Ted Kord in all reality became Blue Beetle was because he wanted fortune. No, yeah, it was fortune, because Booster Gold wanted fame. That's why Booster Gold and Blue Beetle got along, or Ted Kord Blue Beetle specifically. No, he didn't kill his opponents.
Is there anywhere left that ain't been looted? I'm getting bored.
But why are all the fucking criminals now just fucking talking? But that's the point what I meant. That's the point what I mean. The one thing that divides Batman different from everyone else is his drive. His ability to keep moving forward. His willpower. That's what made Batman appealing as a character. stooping so low to killing people is not a sign of will. It's a sign of caving in. Alright, well, I've talked about Batman enough. I'm probably gonna touch upon him again pretty soon, but I want to talk about Superman now, because you know what? If I don't talk about him, I'm not ever gonna talk about him. Now keep this in mind, I love Man of Steel. But Man of Steel is practically the only movie that you really get to see the hopeful aspects of Superman. But they treated, for the most part, Man of Steel treated Superman like he was a dark, brooding superhero. You know, Batman and Superman are supposed to be polar opposites. They're supposed to be similar, but they're supposed to be unique from each other. No matter what, Superman's supposed to be this hopeful beacon that is supposed to shine to be the idea of a better tomorrow. Superman isn't this cold-hearted, brooding superhero that is sitting here just thinking about fucking death. Because that's not what Superman is. Superman is supposed to be the person that's always there, always helping, always protecting. Is there when you need him the most. How they treated Superman was they treated him like that the public hated, like they treated him like that he was not liked by the public, which by the way is all around wrong. Because keep this in mind when Superman usually pops out in the DC universe. Yeah, they're a little skeptical, but they're not sitting here going like, "Oh my God, he's a villain. He's this monster." No. Because that's not who Superman is. What Zack Snyder got wrong about Superman specifically, is that Zack Snyder basically was trying to turn Superman into Batman. He tried to turn a lot of his fucking characters into Batman, and that's what DC was trying for the longest time. Because they're like, Batman's popular, make their superheroes more like Batman. Do you know how stupid that is? Not to mention this, the pushing of these characters killing each other, like killing their villains and shit like that. Yes, Superman doesn't have a no-killing rule, but he doesn't kill. Superman, by all means, is not a killer. So why are you pushing the notion that he is? Superman's the one who is always trying to find another way. Always. Same thing with Batman, same thing with Wonder Woman. And it's annoying to see these characters like that, in all honesty. Hell, their costumes were reflecting it too. Have you ever noticed how muted these characters looked, right? Like, these characters were way too, like, these characters' costumes were way too dull and way too muted. And it was supposed to be, quote-unquote, to make them realistic. That's not making them realistic. That's not even making them visually realistic. Why in the fuck are you trying to make DC characters realistic, though? That's the even funnier part. By all means, DC characters shouldn't be treated like they need to be realistic. They're not meant to be. They were never meant to be. The only person you could slightly push is Batman. And the most realistic adaptation of Batman out there is the fucking Nolan version of Batman. And that version of Batman does not kill. Keep that in mind. The most realistic takes on Batman, have you ever noticed, don't actually kill? Most takes on Superman, have you ever noticed that a lot of them are bright and colorful and actually symbolize hope? Zack Snyder got a lot of things wrong in the DC universe, and Superman, frankly, being one of them was just, it was funny to me. I liked Man of Steel, but it was not a comic accurate version of Superman, and I knew for a fact it wasn't meant to be. None of these DC characters were meant to be comic accurate. Which on paper, that's okay. On paper, that's fine. But when you're trying to make a cinematic universe, that's not what you should be going for. There's more comics for Batman there's more comics out there of Batman that is just than just fucking Dark Knight Returns. Same thing with Superman, same thing with all these other characters. Now, the biggest thing I'm also going to bring up is Batman's mentality towards Superman and Superman's mentality towards Batman and Batman v Superman. Out of anything, Batman actually had no reason to hate Superman. And the whole point of him hating Superman, in reality of it, through the movie, was him being paranoid. Yes, Batman's a very paranoid person, but he's not paranoid to the point that he's gonna make a rational decision of taking a fucking human life. Or an alien life, for that fucking matter. Especially because, in reality, Superman was saving Metropolis. Yes, there's a lot of destruction out there, but Batman's not gonna be going like, "Oh my God, he blew up a building. Oh wait, he was fighting a supervillain. Oh, that doesn't matter. That's my building." I'm gonna be a little whitey little bitch! No! Fuck you! That's not... That's not his mentality! Especially, like, the first thing first, Batman has a contingency plan for the entire Justice League. Simple as that. We all know this. But keep this in mind, he trusts the Justice League with his life. He trusts Superman with his life. And Batman's first response from meeting Superman wasn't the, I'm gonna kill you cause you blew up my building! Oh my god, you and John tore out Metropolis, so I'm gonna kill you for it! Since fucking when? Batman's not that kind of person who's gonna make that rash of a fucking decision. Now here's another thing though. Superman wouldn't be sitting here going like, Batman's a vigilante? That's brutalizing criminals? I must beat the crap out of him and force him to retire! That's not what Superman would do. First things first, Superman isn't gonna sit there and force somebody to retire, especially if they're not killing people. But in Batman's mentality, yes, they were making him kill people, which, by the way, I already brought up, is wrong. That's not Batman. So that was already a problem altogether. That was already a forced confrontation. And a lot of things in Batman v Superman was actually forced. They forced the introduction of Wonder Woman, and they forced the death of Superman. Superman first and foremost would try talking to Batman. He wouldn't be forcing him to retire. He wouldn't be sitting here trying to start a fight with fucking Batman. Trying to fix my fucking controller. He would try talking first and foremost. And then there was the whole, if there's only a 1% chance that he's gonna turn against us, we need to take that as an absolute certainty. You know, that is bad math, especially for Batman. Batman wouldn't be sitting here taking a 1% chance as an absolute certainty. He would consider it. But considering it would be making a plan just in case if it happens. He's not going to sit here and then fucking execute somebody because of it. And then you know, thanks to Zack Snyder, we're not ever going to see the death of Superman or Doomsday done right on screen, ever, right? We're probably never going to actually see a Dark Knight Returns storyline that actually makes sense. Luckily, we got the animated movies for this, but would it have been nice to see this in live action? And we're probably never going to see it done and depicted accurately. Because Zack Snyder didn't believe that he had to earn those fucking stories. You can do Batman in the middle of his fucking career, but you shouldn't be making him a fucking veteran yet. Cause that's still something you gotta fucking earn. If you don't want to do the origin story, that's fine, that's cool. But he did the origin story anyways. He fucking did the origin story. He did it as a monologue. There was such a huge gap between Batman and Superman, it's ridiculous. Do you realize that Batman and Superman, when they started out their career, it was intertwined with each other, right? Damn near. Practically. Superman is actually a couple years older than Batman. Yes, there's the golden age of heroes in the DC comic universe. But what brought up the Silver Age was Superman's appearance. What brought up the Silver Age was the introduction of Superman. Superman was the start of the new age of heroes. Other characters followed with him as soon as possible. And then treating honestly, I don't really have much to complain when it comes to Wonder Woman, because in reality, what they were like, no one has actually ever gotten Wonder Woman done right, except for, like, fucking the TV show. And I've just gotten so used to Wonder Woman not ever being done properly. My issue with how Zack Snyder depicted Wonder Woman, specifically Wonder Woman, was Wonder Woman, same thing with Batman, same thing with Superman, was lacking a lot of their depth as characters. In the DC universe, Amazons are very compassionate. They're compassionate, but they're warriors of honor. So they're not going to try to kill you. They're gonna if you force them to, they're going to kill you. But they're not these hard-earned warriors. They have a coat of arms, and they're very honorable. Hell, Wonder Woman started joining man's world to subdue men's aggression, not enforce it. She wouldn't be sitting here constantly, you know, empowering the aggression of man. She wouldn't contribute to it. She wouldn't also sit by and see Batman and Superman try to kill each other, even if she's in fucking hiding. Because that's not the character, that's not who Wonder Woman is. Especially because how they were telling her story, Wonder Woman was out and about protecting people. She was just doing it more secretive. So why the fuck was she just giving fucking Batman the runaround in Batman v Superman, and not trying to discuss him with Superman and try to go, hey, it's kind of weird that you guys are trying to kill each other. Is there something actually else going on here? Wonder Woman's a very passionate person. Is a very compassionate person. I didn't even notice the signal light. But that's the thing. But like I said, a lot of these characters are lacking the depth that who they are. And you cannot use this excuse that these characters are not supposed to be the characters that we know and love because it's their start of their career. One, Batman was down here almost in the halfway end of his fucking career. You could use that leeway with Superman because Superman was just starting, but Superman was not going to be that fucking angsty. Wonder Woman was around for years, so she was in the middle of her fucking career. Same thing with Flash, same thing with fucking Aquaman. Actually, no, Aquaman was in the beginning of his career, when Justice League happened. So, a lot of these characters be in the middle of their career. There still isn't, so in other words, there is no excuse for these characters acting so out of fucking character. Plain and simple. Now, the biggest thing I'm going to say this. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. That has been talked to death, and that's also another that's also solid proof that fucking Zack Snyder didn't know what the fuck he was doing. What they did with Lex Luthor is what the same thing they did with Flash. They turned him into some kid with ADHD. Especially when the Flash is Barry Allen. Like, you know, Barry Allen's not this hyperactive kid, you know. He's a young adult that's very cool, charismatic, very calm. He wears his heart on his sleeve because it's the best thing, it's the best way he knows how to be a hero. He isn't like, sugar, 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 I'm gonna jump around, yay, 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 oh my god, this is a Batcave, oh, this is so cool, oh my god, why is there so many ears? That's not Barry Allen. Barry Allen isn't the stereotypical ADHD kid hooked up on the fucking cocaine. Same thing with fucking Lex Luthor. Dude, they turned Lex Luthor into fucking Riddler. See, Lex Luthor, like Batman, is always a step ahead of you. He's very calm. He's very precise. He's cold. He's methodical. In Lex Luthor's eyes, life is like chess. And that's the way Superman, and that's the way Lex Luthor has to think. Because Lex Luthor is trying to attack a god. In his sense, he is trying to... In Lex Luthor's case, he's trying to attack a false god. He's trying to prove that Superman isn't really a god, which Superman has never stated the fact that he's a god. But in Zack Snyder's universe, they always treated it like Superman that like he was Jesus Christ. Do you know how much Jesus symbolism was in fucking Man of Steel? Way too much. In a sense, Superman is supposed to be... Superman shouldn't be treated like that he's this savior pariah. There's a reason why a lot of Justice League members will sit there and say this, yeah, Superman may be an alien, but he's more human than all of us. There's ways to go about it, yes, in reality, there's ways to go about it. You could do Superman as, like, this ultimate savior. And necessarily, Zack Snyder wasn't completely off on doing that. He was off, but he wasn't completely off. But back on Lex Luthor. It was strange to me then, Batman v Superman, that you didn't actually get to see Lex Luthor's intelligence. You didn't see what he was doing. He did almost everything that he did off screen. He found out who Batman and Superman was off screen. That doesn't show me this cold-hearted sociopath that we all know in the comics. The other thing is, Lex Luthor has way too big of a fucking ego to have someone else kill Superman. Lex Luthor's the kind of person that is always going to say, if you want it done right, you gotta do it yourself. Which pretty much means Lex Luthor is essentially going to try, if he wants Superman dead, if he actually wants Superman dead, he's gonna do it himself. I absolutely hate the hitboxes in this game. But I guarantee you a lot of you guys can see what I mean when it comes to this. And yes, I'm going to say it like this. These people who are trying to push for these characters, like the Snyderverse, get over it! Zack Snyder fucked up. I honestly believe WB made a fucking mistake giving you guys a fucking bone and releasing the fucking Snyder cut. And even that, you know, the reason why they released the Snyder cut was because they wanted something that was gonna drive fucking traction for their streaming service. And they didn't have another movie, they haven't had a movie built up and ready yet. So they just finished a little bit that they had left on the Snyder cut, and then just released that. Cause it was gonna it was gonna be a lot easier than making a movie for fucking Max's debut, or HBO Max's debut. And yes, the fact that they gave you that fucking bone, because now I think, and we all know, and it's irritating, is that now you guys just refuse to shut the fuck up. I've seen so much shit of you guys sitting here going like, oh, James Gunn's not gonna understand these characters. James Gunn's gonna make Batman super duper campy. He's gonna turn Batman into Adam West. He's gonna turn Wonder Woman into this bright, colorful character. He's gonna make Superman a fucking hero. Oh my god, the audacity! You know, out of anything, I actually believe James Gunn's not gonna do a bad job when it comes to fucking Superman. Because, out of anything, James Gunn is a comic nerd. He's read the comic books. Yes, James Gunn has more of an attraction towards villains in the DC universe and heroes of the Marvel universe. Still doesn't change the fact that he understands these characters. See, my biggest gripes of ever when it comes to James Gunn is the fact is that James Gunn has too distinct of a style to be doing a full-blown cinematic universe. One character, yes. But if you're doing a whole entire universe, there should be some diversity with it. Especially with the DC universe, where everything has to feel unique. That has been my biggest gripe when it comes to James Gunn. I'm not as negative as people think I am when it comes to James Gunn. Because I know for a fact James Gunn's probably going to do a lot fucking better than Zack Snyder. What Zack Snyder did was essentially what Michael Bay did to the Transformers franchise. And right now, DC is in the right track. They are on the right fucking track. Blue Beetle is proof of that. Am I against it being a soft reboot? Fuck yeah, I'm against that. They should have full-blown reboot. Full-blown reboot. Get rid of everything that was related to fucking Zack Snyder. God damn it. Finally. But no, I believe they need to get rid of that altogether. You know, a lot of these DC superheroes actually have nicknames. Batman has 2, Superman has 2. Flash has 1, Flash has 2. Green Arrow has 1. Do you know what they are? Green Arrow's nickname is the Emerald Archer. Flash's is the Scarlet Speedster and the fastest man alive. Superman's is the Man of Steel and the Man of Tomorrow. Batman's is the Dark Knight and the world's greatest detective. But see, you know why Batman was called the Dark Knight? Because in history, the Black Knight was the one that was always in the seams, hiding in the shadows. He wasn't this brutal monster that people feared, but he was this protector, this beacon, that was always ready to defend when he needed to. The reason why Batman was called the Dark Knight was because he was protecting people in the shadows. Yeah, he struck fear into criminals, but he was a beacon of hope to the citizens of Gotham. His way of doing it was, yeah, he was there, he was going to scare he was scaring criminals, but he wasn't there to scare children. He wasn't a scared straight program. Superman, in all intents and purposes, is kind of like a white knight. He's there for everybody, no matter what the time of the day is. He's there for you all, no matter what. But no, that's the reason why Batman was called the Dark Knight. Batman was not called the Dark Knight because he wore black. Fun fact, do you know what the whole premise of the blue and gray suit was? The reason why Batman started wearing blue and gray was, all intents and purposes, was because he was there to scare criminals, not scare children. And Batman's original suit, in shadows, kind of made him look like a demon. And when it came to the point that he was scaring citizens of Gotham, that's when he's like, oh, okay, it's time for a change. So what he did was he shortened the ears, he brightened up his suit, and, you know, there was a couple of disadvantages of that, but he made up for it by adding a couple extra things. One of the biggest things was armor plating to his suit. The yellow oval on his chest The reason why it looks a lot like a target is because it's supposed to be. That's where 90% of his armor plating is. The majority of his plating is on his chest. The whole point of the yellow oval around the bat symbol is, in all intents and purposes, is to trick criminals to, you know, shoot there, aim there. Batman wearing blue was pretty much more or less so he was able to stick out a little more. So he's not constantly covered in the shadows. But he can still disappear in the fucking night sky if needed. But he wasn't, you know, wearing all black, so if he went over to, you know, untie a civilian, they're not freaking the fuck out. Looking for the diner. Okay, this went into a whole tangent about something else. I need to get back on track about fucking Zack Snyder. Actually, no, I think I already said what needed to be said. If you want me to talk about something else and talk about my opinions on a lot of these storylines, you know, leave a comment down below. Hell, if you want me to actually review the Snyderverse altogether, I'll rewatch those movies to give you my honest opinion on every single one of them. Because I guarantee I missed a lot when I was talking about them right now. Because I was just summing up a lot of it. I'll do that as well. But the synopsis of this entire conversation is this. Zack Snyder looked at the bare minimum when it comes to DC comic books, and he used that as the groundwork for his universe. And keep this in mind, there's only one DC Universe movie that I actually like of Zack Snyder's. There's only one specifically that I absolutely love without a doubt and will always enjoy watching. That is The Watchmen. Because The Watchmen is supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be, on all intents and purposes, mainly realistic. How they viewed superheroes is actually how superheroes would be viewed in reality. Yes, they're going to be this hopeful beacon, but they're always going to be treated as vigilantes. They're not going to be above the law, and you know what? If push comes to shove and bad things start going on when superheroes start becoming a problem, rules will be enforced against these heroes that would put them into retirement. And that's one of the biggest bases on The Watchmen. But here's another thing though. The Watchmen comic, if you read it, that is right up to Zack Snyder's alley. That is in Zack Snyder's ballpark. If you look at his style. But yeah, I'll rewatch the DC Universe movies, the Snyderverse movies specifically, for you guys, if you guys want me to review them. But I'm gonna cut it here. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and leave a notification and hit that notification bell to watch more of my content later down the lines. And status report on me getting the PS5. I'm almost there. I'm not able to pre-order the one that I wanted to get, but I'm gonna keep trying. You know, I'm gonna keep trying. I want to be able to, you know, stream Marvel Spider-Man 2 for you guys. And, yeah. So, I would say be on the lookout for that. Yeah, be prepared. Mark your calendars for October 20th or October 21st. Because I will do my best. I'll make sure if I have to fucking rob a fucking GameStop, I will for you guys. Just letting you guys know. But it's because I appreciate you guys. The little fans I have, I appreciate you. Even if you are a Zack Snyder meat writer, I still appreciate you. But yeah, I'll see you all later. Peace.